Hey YouTube, it's Charles the Redneck Nerd coming at you for another video. This time we're going to be talking about my Buck Frontiersman, and it's a Buck 124 is the model number. And this is my favorite knife out of all of them that I have. It is also my third most expensive knife, and Amazon has it listed right now for $180. I think I paid $145 at A.G. Russell 6 or 7 years ago. Now the Buck 124 has a 6 1/4 inch stainless steel 420 high carbon stainless, Buck's typical steel, and then it's got a 5 1/2 inch handle with a total length of 11 3/4 inches, and it is full tang. And you'll notice that the handle is very wide. The handle itself on the back is 1 inch wide. The maximum height from the back of the blade, back of the handle, to the belly of the handle is 1 1/8. And like I said, it is a full tang knife. And it has a weight of 13.3 ounces. It comes with the typical buck leather sheath. Fairly good quality. It has no retention in it without the strap, really, because it'll kind of stay in place, but it's going to move around. With the catch, you get some wobble, but it's not that big a deal. Now, I used this knife to make, let's see if I can grab it here, this one of my canes out of cedar, pressure treated cedar. And it did awesome. It actually surprised me, because I spent about 4 hours carving on that. And then I also used it as a draw knife, bringing it down the sides to smooth it out and kind of finish rounding out the cane itself before I moved on to the sanding portion to actually get the final smoothing and finishing that on the cane shaft. And after 4 hours of use, I came back inside, took a Lansky box sharpening set with the rods, put it at the 25-degree angle, did 5 or 10 passes on each side, then took it to a leather strop with 3000 grit compound on it, and then spent, 5 hits on each side for a total of 10 swipes down it. And this thing came back unbelievably sharp, like it had just come out of the box. And this is phone book paper, and every bit of that blade is like a razor. The 420 allows it to be stainless, and the thing about Buck is they heat treat this 420 steel with the Boss heat treatment to a HRC of between 57 and 59, so call it a 58 HRC. So it's going to hold an edge really well. It's going to hold an edge better than most knives. I've got Ontario knives. I have a lot of the older Schrade knives. I have Esse's, Cold Steels, all of them. That is my favorite knife. It just feels right. Now, it did have to have a little bit of modification done. Now, these edges up here were very squared off. And the difference, you might be able to see a little bit of difference in color there on that edge, where I had to take a Dremel Moto tool and use the round sanding drum on it to just round those edges out. And I had to do the same here. And they have these little, almost like miniature finger grooves cut in. And I don't know why. They don't really line up with your fingers. They don't really do anything. But I had to round this off too. because it was also very square and it just felt blocky in hand. Now, even as thick as that handle is, and I think part of it is the thickness of the handle and the height of the handle, because I have these, well, my wife calls them Sasquatch hands. It actually fits. And out of all my knives, this one probably fits the best when you grab it in a traditional hammer grip. And yeah, it's just as comfortable this way. The thing is, the guard. It has a lower guard on it than most of the buck knives do up top. So I can easily fit that right at that bottom knuckle of my thumb and go up into a forward grip. And this is what I did most of my carving with on that cane for 4 hours. No hot spots, no discomfort, no nothing. No matter how hard I press on the blade, because of the length of my fingers anyway and thumb, it doesn't hurt. And the thing is, when you find a knife that fits you, like this one actually fit my hand, and that's why I wanted it so bad. Because the Buck 119 that I've carried for several years in the military, whenever we went out to the field, I like it, it just didn't fit. Same thing with K-bars. They just don't fit right, except for the Beckers. They fit my hand. This one fits my hand. And when you have a knife that fits, you can accomplish more. And once you start getting used to a knife, it'll take you 2 or 3 hours of manipulating a knife to really get used to it and figure out how it works for you. And once you start doing that, you become more efficient. And as you become more efficient and become more used to the knife, you'll enjoy working with that knife more. So, guys, I encourage you, even if all you're doing is practicing feather sticking, practicing making tent stakes, just pick up scrap down tree branches and stuff in your yard and practice this sort of stuff. You will get better with your knives. And the better you are, the more your knives will work for you in every situation that you call upon them to do. Now, like I said, it's my favorite knife, and I wanted to share it with you and see what your thoughts are. If you've tried a Buck 124 Frontiersman or any buck really, let me know in the comments how you're doing. Now we come to the part of shout outs. As always, my buddy Gruggs over at Legion Tactical Cutlery. He shows a lot of his knives, he shows them in use. And that's a good thing, because then you get to see, do I really want this knife? Or maybe he does something with a knife that you never thought of doing, and you have that knife. Scab, Choir Boys Cutlery. He's putting out a ton of videos, and all of his videos show the knife being put to use. Joe, Steel Forged in Fire. Another guy who will explain everything about the knife to you, or the sword, because trust me, you get over there and start exploring Joe's catalog of videos, you're going to find he kind of likes swords. And you're going to find some videos that, unlike mine, are one-take wonders. He will edit his videos. He will show you different camera angles. It's really kind of cool. And then today we're going to throw a shout out to another guy whose content I've always really enjoyed. That is Brandon Thrasher at Thrasher's Garage. Brandon's a really cool guy. He knows his stuff about knives, and he gives great reviews on every knife he shows you and tells you the pros and cons of why you should or should not get them. I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and until we see you again, remember, it's college football season, so we're going to end these with my favorite saying in the world, Boomer Sooner. Have a good day, y'all.